How can I turn a form response into a calendar event? Hi, this is Eliot from Workload. Please subscribe to our channel to get more daily tutorials. In this video, we'll be building a workflow starting with a new form submission in Jotform. Then we'll be formatting the response using the AI wizard by Workload before finally creating a calendar event in Microsoft Outlook Calendar. All right, let's build a workflow. So we're going to start here at the workload editor. We're going to give our workflow a title. It's going to be Jotform response to Outlook calendar event. And we're going to build our workflow by clicking in the trigger box. We're going to be using Jotform. So I'm going to click on the Jotform button, which is here in my recent app section. If you haven't used Jotform recently, you can type that into our search bar here. The event that I want to initiate this trigger is a new form submission. I want to make sure I'm connected to my Jotform account. If you have any issues connecting to the apps we use in this workflow, check out the blog in the description of the video. The form that I want this workflow to monitor is my Conference Room A booking request. Now, I'm going to test that trigger to see if we have a response, and we do. But the information that's coming from Jotform can be overwhelming and confusing. It's key to be familiar with what your actual form looked like. So for this example, I built this form. It has fields for first name and last name, email address, phone number, the date to book the conference room, the time, the reason, how long you need to use the conference room, and if you need any of these various utilities. So when I see the response, I know what these answers are in reference to. If I click on the raw console here, you can see there's this answers array, and that contains all the information that's coming from the form. And the actual answers to the question are inside of these answer fields that are tucked inside of that answers array. So I need to pull that information out in order to be able to plug it into Outlook Calendar. It's also going to make it a little bit easier for us to read. So I'm going to click continue here. For our first action, we're going to use the AI wizard by Workload, which is in our popular built-in tools section. The event is going to be format data. It used to say prompt your data here. The input data is going to come from our trigger. So I'm going to click the plus sign, come to my drop-down menu, and I'm going to click on the entire answers array. And the prompt is going to be pull out the answer fields and turn into an object. So we'll test this action. And so now you can see all of those answers are pulled out separately. But they're kind of nonsense if you don't know what the questions were in the first place. So since I'm familiar with the form, I can use this information. But there's some things I still need to format further. So we have here the date. And it says date time, but this is actually not the time of the event. That's just the start of the day. Up here, we have the actual time, 11 a.m. We also know that they want to use the conference room for 1 hour. So we need to combine the time and the date in order to have a start time for Microsoft Outlook Calendar. And then we need to add 1 hour to that time to be the end time. So we're going to do a couple more steps using the AI wizard. So we'll click continue. We'll click on the plus sign. We're going to use the AI wizard again. Format data. The input data this time is going to come from that step 2. I'm going to find the date, which was the date time in my form response. I'm also going to add the time and That's AM. I'm going to say combine this into one date time. And we'll test this action. So now it has that same date, but at the 11 o'clock time. So now we want to create our end date. So we're going to do this again using the AI wizard. Format the data. Now the input is going to be that step 3 we just created. And my prompt is going to be add, and then from our step 2, I know that this answer of 1 hour means the amount of time they want to use the conference room for. So I'm going to say add 1 hour to this time. And that will give us an end time for the calendar event. Whatever the amount of time they add here for how long they want to use the conference room will then change for the new event and then give you the appropriate end time. Click continue. We'll test this action. And now we have 1 hour later, which is 12. So we'll click continue. Now we're actually ready to put this event into Microsoft Outlook Calendar. So we add the step. We're going to use Microsoft Outlook. The event is going to be create event. Make sure I'm connected to Microsoft Outlook. The calendar I want to put this event on, for this example, is just my basic calendar. For your company, you might want to create a conference room A calendar, and then these events would only go onto that specific calendar. The subject is going to come from that formatted step 2, and it's going to be the reason they're using the conference room. So this is the Magoo project brainstorming. Now our start date and time is coming from that step 3. And our end date and time is coming from that step 4. This is not an all-day event, so we're going to click no here. For the description, I have this extra information I can add in about who's requesting the event as the contact. So that's coming from step 2. I can put in first name, space, and then the last name. Click enter. From that same step 2, we're going to find the email address. Click enter. We're also going to find their phone number. And then I'm going to say request, and then find which of the utilities from the conference room they needed. And they requested to use the whiteboard. Okay, so then I can say that I'm going to be free during this event, and then click continue, and we'll test the action. We have a success. So I'll click continue. I can check out my calendar, and I can see that that event was just added. And it has a start date and time, end date and time, name of the event, and then it has the extra details about who set up the event and what they requested. So I can come back over to the workload editor. I can see my trigger still has the red dot, so I'll click here. And oftentimes, if you just click back on the node that's red, it'll turn green if all of the steps are filled out correctly. So now I have a workflow that's ready to go. So I can come over to the activation button and turn that on. And now whenever I have a new form submission to this specific form, the response will be formatted by the AI wizard and then turned into an event in Microsoft Outlook Calendar. That's how you can use Workload to build a workflow that automatically syncs Jotform and Microsoft Outlook Calendar. Please join the Workload community by commenting on this post with any questions you might have or suggestions for future videos. You should also like this video and click here to subscribe to our channel, or click here to get more content from Workload about how to make your business practices flow more smoothly. And I'll see you next time.